This page is the 100th issue of Nintendo Official Magazine, and what a milestone it is. The cover is dominated by a giant, sparkling 100 emblazoned with Nintendo's iconic characters like Pikachu and Mario. We've got a cracking special 100th birthday issue, promising the all-time Nintendo Top 100 revealed inside. Plus, it's January, and for a mere £2.95, you get all the N64 news, game exclusives and even the first play of Pokémon Gold and Silver for the Game Boy. It's certainly a packed issue, and I can already feel the nostalgia kicking in. This page is a full-page advert for Cannon Fodder on the Game Boy Color. It showcases a pair of very worn, muddy boots and highlights the game's action-packed gameplay with a 5/5 review score. This page is the front cover of the January 2001 issue, number 100, of Nintendo Official Magazine UK. It boldly proclaims, "Here's why we've always been the UK's biggest selling Nintendo 64 and Nintendo Mag." The cover features a group of smiling staff members, each with their name displayed, and a preview of the next issue's cover art for Pokémon Gold and Silver on the Game Boy Color. It also highlights the magazine's promises, such as getting news first, having the most screenshots, and being easy to understand. The bottom section gives contact details for getting in touch via post, phone and email, and a quick flick to page 80 for Pokémon info. This page is a fantastic look ahead to Pokémon Gold and Silver on the Game Boy Color, promising first ever playtest, all you need to know. We get a peek at awesome new Pokémon types, brilliant battles, and amazing worlds to explore. Plus, it's issue 100, so they're taking us on a walk through the history of the magazine. Over on the right, we've got a packed game news section, covering everything from GBA news, Metroid, Mr. Driller, and Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue to even more obscure titles. It's a real treat for any Nintendo fan. This page kicks off with a bang, showcasing The World Is Not Enough for N64, promising a Super Spy experience. Then we dive into a Blagfest, featuring Super Smash Bros., Pikachu N64, Simpsons, and San Francisco Rush 2049. Sounds like a right old party. Following that, it's all about game guides, with a spotlight on Majora's Mask, Turok 3, and tips for handy hints to win those tricky games. We also get a glimpse of Pokémon Puzzle League and Hercules the Legendary Journeys, plus a buyer's guide to all things Nintendo. The free Game Boy magazine section teases trading card games and Mario Tennis. It's a true treasure trove for any gamer worth their salt. This page is all about the upcoming Pokémon Gold and Silver for the Game Boy, and what a massive deal it is. The headline Pokémon Gold and Silver is emblazoned across the top in massive white letters, letting you know this is the main event. They're hyping it up as the biggest adventure ever, promising you'll say goodbye to sleep and hello to the best Game Boy game in the universe. The text explains that this is the follow-up to Pokémon Red and Blue, and it's going to be a massive leap forward. It talks about training your creatures and how you'll become properly attached to them, spending months exploring the worlds. They're even promising the incredible sequels are coming your way very soon, with a whopping 100 new Pokémon to train. We get a peek at the game info, telling us it's an RPG adventure by Nintendo set for release in April 2001. Below that, the beginning section breaks down some of the introductory sequences. You'll see a graceful Lapras gliding across the ocean, followed by a scene with Jigglypuff and Pikachu, and then a fiery Charizard unleashing an attack. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty intense start to the game. This page is a fantastic celebration of Pokémon Gold and Silver, showcasing a vibrant collection of Pokémon characters against a bright blue sky. We see a happy Pichu front and center, flanked by a determined Sneasel, a stoic Togepi, a cheerful Clefairy, and a playful Blissey. Hovering above is a fierce Scyther, looking ready for battle. The on-text is a bold statement of their arrival, while the Nintendo 64 logo hints at the broader Nintendo universe. This page truly captures the excitement and anticipation surrounding the next big thing in Pokémon. The next page dives straight into Pokémon Gold and Silver, and honestly, it feels pretty familiar, but in a good way. We're reminded that the start of this adventure is much like Red and Blue, with setting the time and getting your first Pokémon from Professor Elm. This time around though, the choices are Cyndaquil, Totodile and Chikorita, and the magazine even gives us a hint about Chikorita being a bit of a challenge against the first gym leader. Then, we're whisked off to Cherry Grove City, where you'll meet your mum and head to Professor Elm's lab. It seems like there's a bit of a mystery afoot, with Professor Oak and a peculiar egg, which is always a good hook. The graphics are looking bright and cheerful, just as you'd expect from Pokémon, and it seems like there's plenty of exploration and familiar faces to enjoy. It's a solid guide to getting started, with a nice bit of nostalgia for those who've played before. This page dives into the new rival you'll encounter in Pokemon Gold and Silver, a rather rude individual who's a step up from Gary Oak. We get a glimpse of the familiar Professor Elm's lab, and a hint that the game is already throwing curveballs with a mysterious egg. The world of Johto is introduced, promising a fresh adventure distinct from the Kanto region of Red and Blue. The page also highlights new features like the Pokegear, which starts off as a simple phone but can be upgraded into a multifunctional gadget, even acting as a radio. It's a neat touch that adds to the immersion. We also get a look at the new Pokemon, Murkrow and Mareep, with their Pokédex entries providing flavorful lore. Murkrow is apparently a harbinger of misfortune, while Mareep's wool doubles in volume when it builds static electricity. Ouch! The familiar game mechanics, like the item pocket and the usefulness of HMS, are also touched upon, assuring players that the core Pokemon experience remains intact. It's a solid look at what makes Gold and Silver tick. This page offers a cracking look at Pokemon Gold and Silver, really showing off the beautiful battles and very special effects that make this sequel so darn good. We get to see some genuinely impressive battle animations, like Feraligatry looking menacing and tentacles spewing its acidic goo, makes you appreciate the extra polish. It also highlights how the gender of your Pokemon is now displayed, which is a rather neat touch for those keen on breeding. We also delve into the Pokédex itself, which looks to be a massive upgrade from previous iterations, even borrowing features from Pokemon Pinball. The ability to search for Pokemon by type or dual type is a game changer, and the visual overhaul makes it a joy to use. Plus we get a closer look at some of the new Pokemon with entries for Stantler, Hoppip, and Misdreavus, each with their own quirky lore that just pulls you further into the world. It's clear this game is packed with improvements. This page delves into the colorful characters you'll meet in Pokemon Gold and Silver, introducing us to several trainers and the folks who'll help you on your quest. We meet Professor Elm, who gives you your starter Pokemon, and your mum, who helpfully saves your cash for you. You'll also get to call trainers like Erwin and Earl for challenges, and even listen to DJ Mary and Professor Oak on the radio for tips. The page also highlights the radio function, explaining how you can tune into different channels like Pokemon Music, Oak's Pokemon Talk, and the Lucky Channel, which offers a lottery with prizes. And to top it all off, we get a peek at the Pokédex entries for Cyndaquil, Quagsire, and Noctowl, giving us a taste of their unique traits and abilities. It's a real showcase of the personality and features packed into this much-anticipated sequel. This page is all about the day and night cycle in Pokemon Gold and Silver, and how it affects which Pokemon you can catch. It seems like some Pokemon are strictly nocturnal, which is a neat touch for adding variety to your adventures. You'll also find out that certain Pokemon only show up on specific days, like Lapras on Fridays, and the bud catching contest on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Then we dive into the new breeding feature, which is a pretty big deal. Apparently, unlike the original Red, Blue, and Yellow where Nidoran were all male or female, in Gold and Silver, Pokemon can actually be bred. This means you can get your hands on rare Pokemon like Pichu and Cleffa through breeding, which is a fantastic addition to the game. It sounds like a real labor of love to raise a Pokemon from an egg, and the game even offers a daycare center with both a man and a woman to look after your precious Pokemon. It also mentions that breeding isn't universal. Some Pokemon just don't fancy each other, which is a rather amusing thought. The page also features a few Pokemon stats including Feraligatry, Sunkern, and Mantine, giving us a little glimpse into their in-game descriptions. Feraligatry's description of its powerful jaws shaking its victim sounds suitably menacing, and Sunkern's diet of dewdrops is rather charmingly odd. Mantine's ability to swim freely and potentially fly over waves due to its speed is also quite cool. This page is a vibrant full-page advertisement for Pokemon trading card game, Gym Heroes Expansion. It features Misty, Brock, Lieutenant, Surge, and Erica, inviting players to join them. The ad highlights the release of 26 new cards, booster packs, and 4 60-card theme decks, all available from January onwards. It really makes you want to collect them all. This page dives into some of the fantastic new features and items in Pokemon Gold and Silver. We're shown how berries can be collected and used for healing, with the intriguing detail that some Pokemon don't fancy the bitter berry for healing confusion. There's also a look at how elemental stones work, with a wise warning to use them sparingly so your Pokemon can learn their best moves. The Bow Selector section is brilliant, explaining how the new select button assignment makes using items like the bicycle incredibly convenient, a real game changer for faster movement. Plus, we get to see the iconic Larvitar, Wooper, and Girafarig, with handy Pokédex entries detailing their habits and unique traits. It's a great showcase of the depth and improvements in these sequels. This page is all about the multiplayer capabilities of Pokémon Gold and Silver, specifically the two can play this game section. It highlights how you can battle and trade with friends using the Game Boy Link cable, just like in the original red, blue, and yellow versions. You can also use the time capsule feature to trade Pokémon from the older games into the new ones, though there are some restrictions on what you can trade. The It's a Gift section explains the mystery gift feature, which allows you to trade items wirelessly using the Game Boy Color's infrared link. This can include cool stuff like decorations for your bedroom, which is a neat little bonus. The page also shows a few screenshots of the game's interface, including menu options like Continue, New Game, and Mystery Gift. It's all about connecting and sharing the Pokémon experience with your mates. This page is a deep dive into Pokémon Gold and Silver, showcasing how these games are bigger than ever and packed with super subquests. We're told to expect a world that changes with time, offering new Pokémon and surprises with each play. The game's main goal is to become the ultimate Pokémon master by collecting all 16 badges and defeating the Elite Four. But fear not, for there are plenty of side quests to keep you busy, like exploring vast caves and forests, or even tackling the Sprout Tower for valuable rewards. The screenshots here give us a glimpse of the adventurous journey, from crossing seas on a SS Anne equivalent to navigating tricky cave systems. Over on the right, we get a sneak peek at the sweet-as-a-cherry puzzles that await, testing your skills and observation. Uncovering the mysteries of the unknown at the ruins of Alph sounds particularly intriguing, and the tile-sliding puzzle to reveal a Kabuto is a classic touch. Then we get a look at some of the Pokémon themselves, with number 156 Kilava, number 181 Ampharos, and number 188 Skiploom all getting their Pokédex entries. Kilava's fiery disposition and Ampharos's dazzling Pearl-tail are highlighted, while Skiploom's ability to bloom and shock with temperature changes sounds fascinating. It's clear these games are offering a wealth of content and exciting new creatures to discover. This page is a full-page advert for HMV's Top Dog for Christmas promotion, offering a free HMV CD wallet when you buy selected Nintendo 64 games. It features 4 popular titles: Mario Tennis, Mario Party 2, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, and The World Is Not Enough. The advert also highlights that you can buy online at hmv.co.uk or in store. This page is a fantastic guide to the gym leaders in Pokémon Gold and Silver. It introduces you to Faulkner, Bugsy, Whitney, Morty, Chuck, Jasmine, Price, and Claire, detailing where to find them, the badges you'll earn, and some handy tips on which Pokémon types will give you the best chance of victory. We also get a glimpse of the mythical Celebi, described as a time traveler with psychic/grass abilities, and the imposing Steelix, whose body hardens over time. Plus, there's a peek at Spinarak and Sudowoodo, giving us a taste of the diverse Pokémon world awaiting us. This page is all about revisiting Kanto in Pokémon Gold and Silver, proving that your adventure isn't over once you've beaten the Elite Four. You can hop on a boat to Kanto and experience all the familiar locations, including Pallet Town and Celadon City. It's a brilliant way to extend the life of the game, and the reviewer even mentions bumping into Ash himself, which is a nice touch for any Pokemaniac. Below that, we get a look at some of the new Pokemon, with Hu, Sentret, and Swinub all getting a spotlight. The descriptions are a bit of fun, detailing their Pokédex entries and hinting at their abilities, with Swinub's love for hot springs being particularly amusing. It really emphasizes how much there is still to discover, and the mention of Meowth's Party being a potential GameCube title is quite exciting. It also touches on Pokémon Puzzle League, promising a fiendishly addictive experience. This page dives into the revolutionary evolution of Pokémon, showcasing how the series has consistently improved with each new iteration. It highlights the transition from Red and Blue to Gold and Silver, emphasizing the enhanced gameplay and features. The page features screenshots and descriptions of iconic Pokémon like Unknown, Ledyba, and Shuckle, offering insights from their Pokédex entries and adding a touch of nostalgic charm. The reviewer's opinion is clear: Gold and Silver are arguably the finest games on the Game Boy, a must-have that will keep you glued to your screen. This page is a full-page advertisement for WWE No Mercy on Nintendo 64. It features a dramatic image of a wrestler and highlights the game's features like all new ladder matches and over 65 superstars. A glowing 95% rating from 64 magazine is prominently displayed. The next page is a fantastic showcase of new releases and what's to come on the Nintendo 64. We get a quick rundown on how games are scored, with anything over 90% earning an awesome award. How very generous. Then, it's straight into the reviews. We've got Tomb Raider with Lara Croft getting ready to save the world, and Pokémon Puzzle League, which sounds like a brain bender. Plus, Hercules is getting a mention, promising a super heroic time. The real star of the show here though is 007, The World Is Not Enough. This isn't just any Bond game, it's a full-on spy thriller for your N64, complete with multiplayer action, Rumble Pack support, and a hefty price tag of £39.99, releasing on the 8th of December. The reviewer is clearly hyped, suggesting it's a must-play for any Bond fans, and honestly, who wouldn't want to dive into that world? It sounds like it's going to be a blast. This page is all about The World Is Not Enough on the Nintendo 64, and the reviewer is absolutely buzzing about it. They're saying the levels and gameplay are brilliant and will keep you hooked from start to finish, a definite hit. It's been ages since 007 graced our screens, but the wait has been well worth it. We're treated to screenshots of what looks like a snowy mountain level and a more urban explosive scene. The text below these images highlights that you can even take your mates on in multiplayer, which is always a bonus, and hints that some of the action is straight out of the top drawer. Alongside this, we see the Nintendo official magazine's awesome award tag, which this game is clearly in line for. Big Bond vibes all around. This page gives us a closer look at the gadgets available in The World Is Not Enough on the Nintendo 64. We're introduced to the scanner, which is essential for lifting fingerprints, the safe cracker, a must-have for accessing sensitive documents, and the data scrambler, your go-to for disabling pesky alarms and security cameras. Then there's the night vision mode, which sounds rather nifty for navigating those darker, more treacherous environments. The article then delves into the weaponry Bond has at his disposal, assuring us that he's well equipped for any sticky situation. It highlights the M60 machine gun, a beast for clearing out rooms, and the potent Raptor Magnum, which apparently takes down bad guys with a single shot. Lovely! The reviewer seems particularly impressed with the M16, praising its rapid fire and zoom capabilities. The gameplay is described as a thrilling first-person shooter experience, with a particular mention of a ski and snowmobile section that sounds like a blast. The reviewer is clearly chuffed with the overall package, calling the game an amazing experience with gorgeous locations and brilliant animations. It sounds like this Bond adventure is shaping up to be a real treat for N64 owners. This page is all about the incredible arsenal Bond has at his disposal in The World Is Not Enough on the N64, and boy does he have some neat toys. First up, we've got the Watch Yourself section, showcasing his trusty wristwear. Forget a Swiss Army knife, Bond's watch is a proper gadget powerhouse, capable of much more. The dart gun is highlighted as a non-lethal option for taking down unsuspecting guards, and his laser watch, well, that's pretty handy for opening doors, and generally being a secret agent. Then we dive into Passport to Action, where the reviewer praises the game's diverse locations, from Istanbul markets to Russian caviar ports. They're particularly impressed with the action sequences, like rappelling down a helicopter gunship and battling bad guys across rooftops. The roll cameras section also points out the superb action sequences, noting how well put together they are. It seems the game throws a lot at you, with terrorists swinging in and heavily armed guards to contend with. One particular bit involves a tense stairwell descent past plenty of goons, and a rather explosive ending, where you blast your way out of trouble. All in all, the reviewer is clearly having a blast with the game's realistic sound effects and driving soundtrack. It sounds like this Bond adventure really captures the spirit of the movies. This page is a review of The World Is Not Enough on the N64, and it seems the reviewer is quite impressed. The article splits into two main sections: Work as a Team and Cannon Fodder. Under Work as a Team, it highlights that you're not alone in Bond's missions, with fellow agents and security personnel to back you up when things get tough. However, it also points out that sometimes the bad guys are more aware, and you'll need to be on your toes. The screenshot shows Bond in a tense standoff, with a health bar visible. The Cannon Fodder section criticizes the AI of the enemies, suggesting they're not the brightest sparks, especially compared to guards in other games like Perfect Dark. It humorously notes you can often take out guards unnoticed, even when another is right there, which is a bit unrealistic, but thankfully you're usually too busy fighting to care. Another screenshot shows a more intense firefight. The spy story section confirms the game stays very close to the film's plot, from Bilbao to the submarine finale, and that the characters are well realized on the N64. A cutscene featuring Mr. King is shown, with dialogue hinting at the plot. Finally, it mentions a memorable sequence on the docks where a helicopter with a saw is trying to chop you up. Overall, the reviewer is clearly having a fantastic time, calling it a total blast for fans of shoot-'em-ups. This page is a full-page advert for Solo, a payment card. It highlights the convenience of paying with plastic while remaining in control of your bank account, as transactions are checked to prevent overspending. It also mentions that over 350,000 shops accept Solo, so you'll be able to use it widely. Just look for the purple sticker, and go Solo, and stay in control. This page dives headfirst into the multiplayer offerings of Nintendo 64 shooters. Pitting the world is not enough against the mighty Perfect Dark and Turok 3. The reviewer clearly thinks Perfect Dark is the king of the castle, lauding its smooth gameplay and variety of modes, even reminiscing about GoldenEye arenas. The World Is Not Enough gets a nod for its decent arenas and frantic action, though it's not quite as polished as Rare's masterpiece. Turok 3, however, is deemed the weakest of the bunch, suffering from dull levels and dodgy characters, despite offering a decent variety of game modes like Monkey Tag. It seems Bond Shooter is a solid contender, but Perfect Dark remains the ultimate multiplayer experience. This page gives us a look at the gameplay of The World Is Not Enough on the Nintendo 64, focusing on its death throes and sound design. The reviewer praises the game's ability to make enemies react realistically to being shot, from hopping on one foot after a leg shot, to tumbling downstairs. Apparently, even falling over banisters is a highlight, much to the reviewer's amusement. The sound effects are also lauded, with special mention of the machine gun and grenade blasts. The inclusion of John Cleese as a voice actor for Q's sidekick is a particular treat, adding an authentic touch to the game. The page also features a colorful advert for Looney Tunes Collector, Martian Revenge, on Game Boy Color, showcasing beloved characters like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. It promises fun gameplay with characters and abilities, multiplayer action, and unique gameplay styles. This page delves into the Nintendo 64 title, The World Is Not Enough, highlighting its impressive graphics and challenging gameplay. The review praises the game's visual fidelity, noting how fast and detailed it is, even giving Perfect Dark a run for its money. The action is described as razor-sharp, with realistic impacts, explosions, and characters that react authentically to the on-screen chaos. Apparently, even a well-placed shot causing a character to tumble downstairs is considered a highlight. The multiplayer aspect is also touched upon, with the reviewer stating that while the single-player experience is strong, the multiplayer doesn't quite reach the heights of GoldenEye 007. Despite this, the game scores a respectable 92%, earning an awesome rating for its engaging shoot-'em-up action and offering plenty of thrills for Bond fans. The page also features screenshots of in-game action, showcasing various environments and objectives, including one where you need to keep Zukovsky alive. It seems even Moneypenny pops up to offer a helping hand with a pen grenade. This page is a full-page advert for Orange. It humorously suggests using Orange out here when you can't afford a taxi home, featuring a man looking distraught on the phone. It advertises a £14.99 deal for a Just Talk phone, including reserve calls and free texts. This page dives headfirst into the N64's Pokémon Puzzle League, giving it the full Nintendo official magazine treatment. We get a breakdown of the game's price at a hefty £39.99, with a December release. The reviewer is clearly impressed, calling it a brain-bending puzzler that sprinkles Pokémon magic on the classic Tetris attack formula. They're particularly taken with the head-to-head mode, for settling scores with mates. The Just Like the TV section explains the game's plot, setting the scene with Ash and Pikachu at the Pokémon Puzzle League village, even mentioning Professor Oak making an appearance. The review highlights the different game modes, including Oak's Lab for beginners, Mimic Mansion for practice, one-player stadium for a solo challenge, and the all-important two-player stadium for some competitive fun against other Pokémon mad fans. The reviewer sums it up perfectly with, "It might only be a puzzle game, but it'll have you glued to your N64 for ages. Easy to play, difficult to put down." It's clear they think this one's a winner. This page showcases the competitive side of Pokémon Puzzle League, detailing how players face familiar faces like Ash, Brock, and Misty, and get to choose their own Pokémon teams. It highlights the one-player stadium mode, where you'll be picking your favorite Pokémon for some head-to-head battles. The layout is split into sections, with Build Your Blocks, explaining the core puzzle mechanic of matching 3 or more blocks. The review notes that the game's visuals are brilliant and colorful, though the puzzle graphics themselves are nothing special. The Be a Sneak section gives tips on mastering the game, emphasizing the importance of forming chains for high scores. It also shows 4 numbered gameplay screenshots, illustrating various stages and game situations, with accompanying descriptions detailing strategies like planning during countdowns, swapping blocks, creating combos for garbage blocks, and making skill chains. The final section covers game modes: Marathon, Time Zone, Spa Service and University, each with a brief description of its gameplay. The reviewer seems to appreciate the game's depth and variety of modes, especially for those looking to test their Pokémon knowledge and puzzling skills. This page reviews Pokémon Puzzle League, praising its sound effects and voices, and declaring it a must-have for Pokémaniacs. It delves into the game's medallion mode, where you'll be battling trainers to earn badges and medals, and highlights the fun of the 2-player mode. The reviewer notes that while the 1-player mode is a bit easy, the 2-player experience is where the real excitement lies, with a good selection of characters to choose from. The Pokédex feature is also mentioned as a nice touch for fans. The page also touches on the game's Poképower, explaining that special blocks like silver Pokéballs can appear, and that building combos is key to success, especially when dealing with concrete trash blocks. It also talks about the importance of planning ahead and creating chains to get the upper hand against opponents. The game is scored a rather impressive 90%, with the reviewer stating it offers great value for money and has that secret ingredient to keep you coming back. It seems like a fantastic puzzle game that really captures the Pokémon spirit. This page is a full-page advertisement for Magic: The Gathering, a trading card game. It features a fearsome creature and promises an exciting experience with customizable decks and a starter game. This page dives into Hercules: The Legendary Journeys on the N64. The reviewer is clearly unimpressed, likening it to a Zelda wannabe, and noting that the developers have clearly just copied the control system and menu screens from the classic Nintendo series, without much originality. They do concede that the game might be a bit of fun if you're into smashing mythical monsters, but it's ultimately a bit of a disappointment. The page also includes a history lesson section, giving a brief recap of the Hercules myth, which the reviewer finds a bit dry, delivered through drab text screens with uninspired background sketches. Honestly, it sounds like they were hoping for a bit more oomph from a game based on such a legendary hero. This page showcases the strengths of Hercules in Hercules: The Legendary Journeys on the Nintendo 64. We learn Hercules is a mountain of a man with incredible strength, capable of smashing through obstacles like stone walls. The review highlights his powerful Mega Punch and a punch combo attack, emphasizing their effectiveness in battle. It also touches on a throw attack, and mentions legendary beasts, like the Cyclops and Minotaur, hinting at some epic boss battles. We're also introduced to a tavern keeper, Hephaestus, who sells vital magic potions. The reviewer seems to appreciate the game's combat mechanics and enemy variety, painting a picture of a solid action-adventure experience. This page dives into the magic system of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys for the Nintendo 64. It seems Hercules doesn't inherently wield magic but rather has to purchase it from shops, which is a bit of a bummer but understandable for a hero. We get a look at 3 distinct magic types: fire, earth and lightning. Fire is your standard projectile, costing 50 dinar, good for blasting enemies from a distance. Earth magic unleashes a barrage of boulders, costing 15 dinar, perfect for crushing foes and looking dramatic. Lightning, at 30 dinar, unleashes a powerful chain lightning attack, which sounds rather flashy and effective for crowd control. The reviewer notes that these magic potions aren't exactly cheap, but they're essential for taking down tougher enemies, making them a worthwhile investment for any aspiring demigod. The overall impression is that the magic adds a nice layer of strategy to the gameplay, complementing Hercules' brute strength. This page is a full-page advertisement for Tom & Jerry games, showcasing Tom & Jerry in Fists of Fury for Nintendo 64, and Tom & Jerry in Mouse Attacks for Game Boy Color, alongside Tom & Jerry in House Trap for PlayStation. This page gives us a look at the gameplay of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. We learn that besides our muscular hero, you can also play as Iolaus, who's apparently quite handy with a staff and can climb vines, and Serena, a half-woman, half-deer archer who's also a bit of a romantic interest for Hercaric, but sadly works for Evernick. The review highlights the puzzle-solving elements, like dealing with blocked gates and finding hidden keys. We're shown screenshots of Hercules navigating various environments, from what looks like a temple to snowy mountains, and even a seaside scene where he can take a dip. The reviewer notes that while the game has some good ideas, it's been done before, and suggests that fans of swashbuckling adventures might be better off with Zelda. Overall, it sounds like a decent, if not groundbreaking, experience for Hercules enthusiasts. This page is a full-page advert for the Robot Wars game on Game Boy Color. It features a dramatic image of two Game Boys with a tagline about annihilation and survival, urging players to become the ultimate roboteer. This page is a fantastic full-page advert for the Pokémon Pokédex and Pokeball game from Tiger Electronics, really bringing back those late 90s vibes. It brilliantly showcases the Pokédex as the ultimate electronic Pokémon encyclopedia, packed with full details of all 150 Pokémon. We also get a glimpse of the fun Pokeball game, boasting motion-sensitive gameplay and 5 different games to keep you entertained. It even includes those sought-after animated screen images and functions like a clock and calculator. Quite the package, eh? All in all, a brilliant reminder of the Pokémon craze and the innovative handhelds that kept us all gotta catch 'em all. This page is a vibrant full-page advert for Total Test, Nintendo's comprehensive guide to N64 releases. It promises expert reviews and up-to-date information on all the latest N64 gear, from rumble packs to steering wheels. The advert highlights specific sections like the sales chart and rental chart, and even features a 5 of the best list. Plus, there's a tantalizing offer for £5 off N64 games. It also teases a review of Majora's Mask, encouraging readers to turn to page 50 to discover its score. This page is a fantastic preview of what's to come for the Nintendo 64, showcasing a bunch of games that were either just out or on the horizon in early 2001. We've got the latest on Excitebike 64 and Eternal Darkness, with Excitebike 64 promising some monster multiplayer action and Eternal Darkness looking like a proper test of nerves. The main part of the page is a wall of reviews, and it's quite the lineup. We see A Bug's Life, Battlezone and Battle Tanks, all getting their turn in the spotlight. Then there's Charlie Blast, Command & Conquer, and Cruisin' World, which sounds like a decent racer. We also get a look at All-Star Tennis 99, All-Star Baseball 99, Beetle Adventure Racing, Blast Corps, and the Blues Brothers 2000, which is apparently a platformer with some tricky musical puzzles. Plus we have Banjo-Tooie and Asteroids Hyper 64 to look forward to. It's a real mixed bag, with some definite standouts like Banjo-Kazooie and Diddy Kong Racing getting the highest praise, and Donkey Kong 64 being hailed as a must-town. There's also Castlevania, Legacy of Darkness, and Buster Move 3 to consider, rounding out a pretty packed preview. This page is a comprehensive guide to Rumble Pack accessories for the Nintendo 64, featuring reviews of various games that utilize this vibration technology. We see previews for Duck Dodgers, Duke Nukem 0 Hour, Duke Nukem 64, Earthworm Jim 3D, ECW Hardcore Revolution, European PGA Tour, Extreme G, and Excitebike 64, all with their respective pros and cons. The page also highlights Rumble Pack accessories like the Vibra Pack, Tremor Pack, Jolt Pack, Shockwave, G64 Tremor and Memory Pack, N64 Vibration Pack, and the F-Zero X, F1 Racing Championship, Glover, GT64 Championship, Fighters Destiny, Gauntlet Legends, Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko, Gex 64, GoldenEye 007, Holy Magic Century, Hybrid Heaven, Hydro Thunder, ISS 2000, and Killer Instinct Gold, with commentary on their performance and value. It's a treasure trove for anyone looking to enhance their N64 gaming experience with some good old-fashioned rumble. This page is a fantastic rundown of Nintendo 64 games, with a particular focus on which ones are worth your hard-earned cash. We've got ISS 64 and ISS 98, both lauded for their arcade football action. Then there's Jet Force Gemini, praised for its incredible shooting and awesome gameplay. Kirby 64. The Crystal Shards gets a nod for its fun platforming and spit attacks, while Knockout Kings is a knockout boxing title. Lego Racers is a cool kiddie racer, and Lilac Wars offers space combat. Tetris Challenge sounds a bit meh, but Micro Machines and Mickey's Speedway USA are great fun. Mario Party 2 is a party essential, and Mario Kart 64 is still brilliant. Mortal Kombat 4 is a worthy fighter, and Mystical Ninja 2 is a cool ninja adventure. NBA Courtside and NBA Jam 99 are solid basketball sims, and Madden Football 64 is a good American football game. Mission Impossible is a spy adventure, and Monaco GP is a fast-paced racer. Finally, Monster Truck Madness promises muddy mayhem. It's a great guide to see what's hot and what's not. This page features a comprehensive look at Nintendo 64 games, with reviews and ratings for a variety of titles. We see NBA Jam 2000, NBA Live 99 and 2000, and Paperboy, all reviewed with their pros and cons. The page also highlights Premier Manager 64, Ready 2 Rumble, Resident Evil 2, and Quake 2, with details on gameplay and reviewer opinions. Perfect Dark is given a stellar review, as are Rayman 2, Revolt, and Ridge Racer 64. NFL Quarterback Club 2099, NHL Breakaway 98, and NHL Pro 99 are covered, alongside Rainbow Six and Rakuga Kids. Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Snap are also reviewed, as are Rat Attack, Road Rash, and Robotron 64. The page concludes with a section on Looking for a Christmas Gift, featuring games like 1080 Snowboarding, Majora's Mask, and Track and Field, suggesting they'd make excellent presents. This page is a brilliant showcase of racing accessories for the Nintendo 64, with a clear focus on steering wheels to enhance your gaming experience. It features a roundup of essential gaming peripherals, including the Formula Race Pro, Top Drive 3, and V3FX, all reviewed with their pros and cons, making it easier for gamers to choose wisely. The page also dives into reviews for popular N64 titles like Star Wars Episode 1, Racer, Starshot, Rocket Robot on Wheels, Scars, 1080 Degrees Snowboarding, Super Mario 64, Super Smash Bros., Rogue Squadron, Shadows of the Empire, South Park, Rugrats Treasure Hunt, Rush 2, Silicon Valley, Sarge's Heroes, South Park Chef's Love Shack, StarCraft 64, Tarzan, Taz Express, and Tetrasphere. The reviewers' comments are spot-on, offering insights into gameplay and overall quality, like calling Super Mario 64 pure N64 gold. It's a fantastic guide for anyone looking to upgrade their N64 setup and conquer those virtual tracks. This page showcases the hottest N64 games in a sales chart, featuring titles like Mario Tennis and Pokemon Snap, along with their prices and descriptions. It also highlights a £5 off voucher for any chart-listed N64 game from Electronics Boutique, valid until January 2000. Plus, we get reviews for the new Tetris, Tom and Jerry, Fists of Fury, Tonic Trouble, Tony Hawk Skateboarding, Turok Rage Wars, Mario Tennis, WWF No Mercy, Donald Duck, Majora's Mask, Top Gear Overdrive, T-Rally 2, and Toy Story 2. It's a fantastic snapshot of N64 gaming from back in the day, with plenty of titles to get your thumbs aching. This page is a comprehensive review of N64 controllers, giving us the lowdown on Nintendo's own offering and a few third-party alternatives. We've got the SharkPad Pro, Trilogy 64, G64 controller, and the Manta Ray all put through their paces. Nintendo's official controller is hailed as the best, though some of these others might be better suited for specific genres like fighting or shooting games. It's a good roundup to help you pick the right grip for your N64 adventures. This page is a massive prize giveaway from Fans Magazine, promising a heap of goodies if you're lucky. You can win a Nintendo 64, Pokemon games, a Sega Dreamcast, and even a Toshiba laptop, amongst other cool tech like portable TVS and cinema systems. There's also a chance to snag a year's cinema pass and a folding scooter, perfect for those fast escapes from angry polygons. Plus, if you're after cheat codes, they've got numbers for pretty much every N64 and PlayStation game you could imagine. It's a real treasure trove for gamers looking to boost their collections and win big. This page features some cracking tips for the Nintendo 64. We've got the lowdown on the Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, specifically how to manipulate time to your advantage with the Ocarina. It's all about playing the Song of Time backwards to slow down the current flow, or skip forward if you're running late. We also get stuck into WWF No Mercy, revealing a rather brutal tactic to get your opponent disqualified in championship mode, meaning you can pocket more cash per bout. Sounds like a proper wrestling rumble. This page is absolutely packed with essential tips for Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo 64, covering how to get those coveted perfect shots of Pikachu. We're treated to strategies for capturing a surfing Pikachu by laying out food on the beach course, and a balloon Pikachu by rescuing it from a Zubat in the cave level. There's also a guide for snagging Articuno with Pikachu riding on its back. Over on the right, it's a different kind of beast with cheat codes for Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, covering stages like the base, the junkyard, and the lost land. It seems Turok is still keeping us on our toes with its intense action. Finally, there's a helpful controller layout guide explaining how to navigate the games using those easy-to-follow icons. Looks like you'll be mastering those N64 titles in no time. This page features the official Nintendo Top 5 tips, highlighting some of the hottest games of the moment. We've got secrets for Rugrats, with a password to unlock a secret level. Then there's the jungle action of Tarzan, with a cheat to access the game's hidden menus. For the strategy fans, Mario Party 2 offers a simple way to gain extra coins by completing the roller coaster minigame. Ocarina of Time provides a life-saving cheat with unlimited health, achievable by playing Zelda's Lullaby near a gossip stone. Earthworm Jim 3D lets you unlock the character Earthworm Kim by collecting all 1,000 marbles and achieving a superhero ranking. The page also dives into Army Men Sarge's Heroes with tips for unlocking multiplayer characters by entering the code VRCLN, and the ability to get every gun by entering NSRLS. And for those who like to be small, there's a cheat for even smaller characters by entering DRVLLVSMM. Lastly, for Turok Rage Wars, you can never run out of ammo by entering MMLVSRM. It's a fantastic collection of cheats for some of the N64's biggest hits. This page showcases the latest cheats and tips, focusing on Episode 1 Racer with its invincibility and turbo start cheats to get you zipping around the tracks. We also get a look at Jeremy McGrath's Supercross 2000, revealing how to unlock the hidden cheat menu. The right side of the page is a massive list of games with their associated cheats, covering everything from A Bug's Life to Zelda, a truly comprehensive guide for any gamer. This page is all about sharing your gaming wisdom with fellow players and winning cool prizes. We've got some cracking tips for Perfect Dark, with Jordan Earp from Yorkshire showing us how to bag those accuracy medals by using the CMP 150 in the combat simulator. He also points out the rather mysterious appearance of Mulder from the X-Files in Rare's Super Shooter, spotted on the G5 building level. Over in South Park Rally, Calvin Castle from Bristol has a cunning plan to unlock hidden characters, making the game even more exciting. Plus, there are some sneaky ways to beat in 64 games, and if you've got a wicked tip, you're encouraged to share it for a chance to win a Mako pad. And for those of you tackling Majora's Mask, David Sanders from Kent has figured out a way to get unlimited money by repeatedly beating a cheeky bird on the Milk Road. It's all about strategy and sharing the love for gaming. This page is your ultimate guide to mastering some of the N64's finest, with tips and tricks from fellow gamers. We dive into Earthworm Jim 3D, helping you find that elusive last udder, and tackle the challenges of Super Smash Bros., with advice on reaching the Mushroom Kingdom. Plus, there's a handy guide for Shadow Man, detailing how to unlock a secret passage, and even a tip for Jet Force Gemini on how to defeat that rather unpleasant Ica Beetle boss. Fancy winning some Nintendo goodies? Then share your gaming genius in the Write-In section. We also get a glimpse of some new ways to play classic games, like target practice in Perfect Dark and a Keepy Up challenge in Mario Tennis. And don't forget to check out the Can You Help section if you're stuck on Majora's Mask. Our expert gamers are ready to lend a hand. This page showcases the top scores submitted by players for a range of N64 challenges. We see the leading players for Speedway USA, Perfect Dark, WWF No Mercy, and Pokémon Puzzle League, with some rather impressive times and scores achieved. Donkey Kong Jr. himself is here, offering some sage advice for your gaming endeavors, reminding you to master those shortcuts and chain those blocks for victory. It's a real testament to the dedication of the N64 community, proving there's always a way to shave off those precious seconds or boost that score just that little bit higher. This page is all about the Mega Challenge, a new competition from Rare that wants to see if you're a true Perfect Dark master. They're looking for the best players to compete on the crash site confrontation level, and you'll need to be quick and accurate to rack up those kills. If you think you've got what it takes, send in a screenshot of your mission complete screen, along with your name and number. Remember to include a phone number, so they can actually contact you if you win. No point in winning if you can't claim your prize. The Mega Finals themselves sound like a blast, with the top 4 players heading to Nom Towers for a multiplayer showdown. Practice up, folks, because the top players will be battling it out for some fantastic prizes, like a Nintendo controller pad or Rumble Pack. Good luck, and may the best gamer win. This page is a brilliant guide to the Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, covering all sorts of adventuring antics and Zelda quests. It's got us covered with a fantastic walkthrough for Clocktown and the Skull Kid himself. You'll learn how to get your ocarina back, and even master new songs like the Song of Time and the Song of Healing. It's a must-read for anyone wanting to dive into Termina and save the world before it's too late. This page is a brilliant guide to the Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, covering helpful items and how to tackle the Poisoned Swamp. We're shown how to snag a heart piece from the inn, get the adult wallet, and even the notebook to track those tricky side quests. The walkthrough for the swamp is spot on, guiding Link to the witch's hut and teaching us the essential Song of Time. It also highlights the early masks Link can acquire, like the Keaton mask and the bunny hood, crucial for progressing through Termina. The advice is practical and delivered with the same expert gamer enthusiasm we've come to expect. This page offers a fantastic walkthrough for two crucial sections of The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask, Deku Scrub Village and Woodfall Dungeon. We're guided through obtaining a heart piece by photographing the Deku King, and then the adventure takes us into the first dungeon, Woodfall. The guide expertly details how to navigate the dungeon's challenges, including defeating enemies like dragonflies and Tuttle, and obtaining essential items like the dungeon map and a key. It emphasizes using your Deku stick skills to light torches and progress through tricky areas, even pointing out a hidden fairy. It's a solid guide for any player tackling these early stages of the game. This guide details boss strategies for The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask, categorized into mini-bosses and big bosses. Mini-bosses include the Metal Dynelphos, block and attack; Gecko, Deku Scrub, mask and arrows; Takuri, arrow to drop items; and Mothula, light torches to reveal weakness. A tricky torch lighting puzzle leading to a boss door is also addressed. Big bosses covered are Odolwa, requiring quick reactions and David-style ingenuity, and the Stone Tower Temple boss, vulnerable at specific points while avoiding its spinning sword. Utilize bomb plants for assistance. The final boss tip involves teleportation, vine cutting, and speaking with the princess to learn the Song of Soaring, essential for progression. This provides a helpful overview for overcoming the game's challenging encounters. This page is packed with tips for Majora's Mask, focusing on those all-important side quests. We've got the lowdown on how to grab extra heart pieces, which, let's be honest, you'll need if you're planning on surviving Termina. There's a cool bit about using the pig mask in the swamp to find hidden purple clouds, and if you're a fan of target practice, there's a shooting gallery challenge to test your aim for more rewards. Over on the Goron Village section, it looks like Link's first encounter with a Goron involves a ghost who only appears after you've got the Lens of Truth. Getting the Goron mask with its fiery punch sounds like a real game changer. The guide walks you through finding an owl statue, navigating rope bridges, and even a cave with slippery blocks. It's all about getting that Lens of Truth, which is pretty essential for, well, seeing the truth. Finally, there's a bit about finding the Goron ghost again, and playing the Song of Healing for the Ace Goron mask. Looks like a cracking read for any aspiring hero. This page delves into two crucial sections of The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Firstly, it guides you through the Babysit Goron quest, detailing how to play the Goron lullaby by interacting with Gorons, using the Goron mask to uncover secrets, and ultimately soothing a crying Goron baby. It's a surprisingly adorable task. Secondly, the Snowhead Dungeon section offers strategic advice. You'll learn how to tackle the troublesome Wolfos, navigate icy terrain as Goron Link, and solve block puzzles to obtain a small key. The tips also cover reaching a hidden fairy, and using the Rabbit Hood to cross dangerous gaps. It's all about mastering your transformations, and using the environment to your advantage. This page guides you through acquiring the essential flaming arrows and tackling the formidable Goto boss in The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. For the flaming arrows, it details defeating the Wizrobe, which grants you the item. It then walks you through melting frozen doors and lighting torches with your new arrows, eventually leading to a pillar puzzle and a dungeon map. The second section focuses on the Goato boss. It explains that this fight is a Goron-only affair, emphasizing the use of Goron Link's rolling attack and avoiding his lightning. You'll need to melt Goronto when he's encased in ice, and then repeatedly ram him. Upon defeat, you'll grab a heart container and use a teleporter, which will cause Death Mountain to thaw. The guide cheekily notes that this isn't the last you'll see of Goato. It's a solid guide for getting past these tricky bits. This page is packed with handy tips for The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask, focusing on some brilliant side quests and upgrades. We've got advice on how to grab some extra bottles and masks, including the vital Romani mask. There's also a section dedicated to improving your sword, which is always a good idea, and how to get your trusty steed Epona back. The guide also sheds light on the dynamite race, and how to win it for that valuable gold dust. Plus, we learn how to get the Stone Koro mask, which makes you invisible, a must-have for any stealthy adventurer. It's another essential guide for anyone looking to master Termina Field. This page offers a fantastic walkthrough for Majora's Mask, covering two crucial areas: Great Bay and Gerudo Lagoon. For Great Bay, it guides you through obtaining the Zora mask, a vital piece of kit for navigating the watery depths. It details how to rescue a drowning Zora, and even teaches you how to play the Song of Healing to transform into Zora Link. Then, we dive into Gerudo Lagoon, where you'll learn how to acquire the hookshot, essential for progress. The guide explains how to activate switches, use Epona to bypass enemies, and even how to deal with those pesky Gerudo guards by shooting a beehive. It's a real treasure trove of tips to help you conquer these challenging sections of the game. This page is packed with essential tips for tackling the tadpoles in The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. We're guided through saving those little wrigglers, starting with collecting them in the fortress, then moving on to the perilous eel maze in Great Bay. There are also hints on using your trusty hookshot, and even some pointers on how to deal with those tough Gerudo warriors. Plus, there's a tantalizing peek at what's coming next month, promising more Majora's Mask secrets. It's all about mastering these tricky sections to ensure you're making progress in Termina. This page is all about Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, and it's a cracking guide for part 2 of the player's journey. We've got the breakdown of all the levels, including the breach, the military base, the junkyard, and the lost land, plus a mention of Oblivion itself. The main focus here is on the Seal the Breach section, with step-by-step instructions and screenshots showing you exactly where to go and what to collect. It looks like you'll be dropping into water, collecting parts for the ultimate weapon, and navigating some tricky terrain. There's also a brief mention of the Oblivion gunship boss fight, offering a few tips on how to blast that tentacled terror. It's a pretty comprehensive walkthrough to get you through some of the tougher parts of the game, and it's clear they want you to succeed. The next page is a cracking walkthrough for Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, guiding you through the military base and the barracks sections. It's packed with screenshots and essential tips, like using your night vision goggles in the dark hangar. You'll learn how to deal with nasty enemies, find key items, and even take on the boss Zyphers. It looks like a tough, but rewarding, challenge to get through. This page is a cracking walkthrough for Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, covering the junkyard, the foyer, the generator, and the orchestra. It's packed with useful tips and screenshots to help you navigate these challenging levels. We'll guide you through finding essential items, dispatching pesky enemies, and ultimately activating the generator and facing the formidable orchestra boss. It looks like a tough, but rewarding, challenge to get through. This page dives deep into Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, offering a comprehensive guide to conquering the Lost Land and the final gate sections. We get a look at the guardhouses with tips for navigating treacherous paths and taking down enemies, including a rather grim-looking one in a confined space. Then it's on to the fiery encounter with the Alpha Fireborn boss, a truly nasty piece of work that looks like it'll put up a serious fight. The advice here is to dodge its fiery attacks and deal with its smaller minions, which is always a joy. Finally, we're treated to a glimpse of Enter Oblivion's Lair, hinting at the epic conclusion to Turok's journey. It's a classic Nintendo 64 offering, and this walkthrough is your best bet for survival. This page offers a guide to 2 of Turok 3's challenging levels, Outskirts and the Gauntlet. Outskirts seems to be a more traditional Turok experience with lava pools and large enemies, where you'll be using your Razorwind and getting familiar with the Cerebral Burst. The Gauntlet sounds like a proper test of reflexes, involving a monorail ride and dodging enemy fire, so good luck with that. We then move on to Chaos Entrance, which is exactly what it sounds like, a fiery lava-filled area where your weaker weapons are basically useless, so make sure you've got something decent to hand. Finally, the Central Nexus is presented as the final push towards Oblivion himself, with puzzles and tough enemies to overcome. It looks like Turok 3 is packing a punch with these levels. This page dives deep into the boss fight against Oblivion, the final adversary in Turok 3. It breaks down Oblivion's attacks, explaining how to dodge plasma balls and lava blasts, and even how he recharges himself. The guide then highlights Oblivion's weak spots, emphasizing the importance of timing your attacks for maximum impact. It also touches upon the essence of Oblivion, a boss battle that sounds like a proper test of your skills, and the mission to rescue Turok, which involves using powerful weapons like the Firestorm Cannon and Shredder. Overall, it's a comprehensive guide to conquering Turok 3's toughest challenges. This page is all about reader mail and wins, with the magazine celebrating its 100th issue. We've got Tamsin and Rich looking chuffed, probably because they're getting paid to look at Game Boy Advance titles. There's a mention of a game that would be perfect for the GBA, which sounds a bit like it's hinting at a future release or a clever fan suggestion. We also hear from a chap who thinks Digimon is rubbish and Pokemon is king, a classic debate that's still going strong. Plus, There's a section asking readers to pick their top 3 N64 games to be stuck with in Bowser's prison, which is a fun thought experiment. It looks like Matthew Cooper has chosen Super Mario 64, Mario Golf, and Mario Kart 64. Solid choices, my friend. This page is all about reader contributions, with a Mario's Winner section and a Game or Lame segment. We've got opinions flying on everything from the Greeber's aesthetics to the merits of Majora's Mask versus Ocarina of Time. It's clear the readers have strong feelings about their games. There's also a fun breakdown of a Pokemon Olympics game concept, featuring Pikachu and Charmander, which sounds like a blast. Plus, Mario's hit list asks for reader input on exciting new games and topics, keeping the community engaged. This page is a fantastic showcase of reader interaction, featuring a Mario's Winner section that highlights some cracking user submissions. We see questions about Final Fantasy VI on N64 and the possibility of more Squaresoft games on the GameCube, alongside thoughts on the Game Boy Advance and the epic Majora's Mask. There's also a reader pondering the future of Nintendo consoles and another comparing the merits of certain games with their respective scores. Plus, a look at why certain games might be delayed and a reader's suggestion for updating the magazine's game rating system. It's all about keeping the Nintendo community buzzing and sharing those gaming passions. This page is a massive advert for Direct Intel, with a huge list of games for Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance and N64. They're also offering ringtones and graphics for Nokia mobiles. There's another advert for CVGE.com, promising a free game when you buy one, and a massive phone competition to win a PlayStation 2. Blimey, they're really pushing the boat out here. This page is all about Pokemon. We kick off with a vibrant spread featuring Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charmander and Squirtle, inviting readers to the Pokemon Center, home of the official UK Poke League. It highlights upcoming events like the Pokemon Tour and a massive gold and silver preview, promising fun for all Pokemaniacs. We also get a peek at the Pokemon movie with a sneak preview and a mention of a very rare Mew trading card. To top it off, there's a chance to ask questions to Gail Tilden, Nintendo's VP of Product Acquisition, and Norman Grossfeld, the producer and co-writer of the Pokemon movie. It's a must-see for any serious Pokemon fan. This page is all about the Pokemon Tour 2001. It looks like Nintendo is pulling out all the stops for this one, with events planned across the UK. We've got the lowdown on dates and venues, including a mention of a Mew download machine. Very cool. There's also a section on challenging the masters, including a chap named Darren Van Vuren who sounds like he knows his stuff. Plus, they're swapping up to 30 doubles from Series 1 and 2, so you can finally complete those collections. And if that wasn't enough, there are competitions galore. Just remember, you cannot use gold and silver Pokemon on the tour, so make sure you've got your red and blue beasts ready to go. This page showcases the fantastic results of a Pokemon art competition, divided into age categories. In the ages 6 to 8 section, we see a drawing by Chris Gordon, who's only 7 but clearly a talented artist, capturing Pokemon at their best. The ages 9 to 12 category features an awesome picture of Arcanine by Eleanor Woolley from Wigan, and a delightful birthday scene with various Pokemon. Then, for ages 13 plus, there's a striking image of Jengar, with a mention of Terry from Ireland using glitter effectively, and a cool electric Pokemon piece by Carrie Ann Parks. It's great to see such a strong response to the competition. This page features more brilliant Pokemon artwork from the competition. We've got Deirdre from Dublin's mean-looking Voltorb, and a super cute Pichu drawn by Craig Squires. Over in the winning entries, Christopher Edwards, a mere 8-year-old, has created a fantastic picture with butterflies and Pokemon, showing serious potential for a poker designer. We also see Scott Seller's hilarious drawing of Pikachu and pals in a Bon Jovi tribute. Brilliant! And rounding it off, Michael Patterson has absolutely nailed the legendary birds, and 15-year-old Gemma Bright impressed us with a bustling street party scene, complete with a bit where Ash's backside gets singed by Charizard. Excellent stuff all around. This page is celebrating the 100th issue with a massive giveaway, offering some truly fantastic prizes. We've got a Super Smash Bros. N64 console, a special edition Pikachu N64, and a signed copy of Super Smash Bros. By none other than Shigeru Miyamoto himself. Talk about a collector's item. Then there's also a Britney Spears singing doll, and copies of The Simpsons, Digimon Volume 2, and Dr. Seuss How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The page also includes a quiz question about the hidden Pokemon in Super Smash Bros. And another about the Madcap Professor from The Simpsons, so get your thinking caps on and good luck winning. This page is a fun collection of competitions and game previews, First up, we have a Manchester United giveaway for their movie, and a question about which star is married to a Spice Girl. I'm guessing David Beckham, though who knows in the world of football wags. Then there's a brilliant N64 competition for Laser Challenge Radar Extreme and Whack-A-Mole, with a question about the game's stars, Dr. Carroll and Daniel Carrington. Finally, we've got a preview of the Nintendo 64 racing game Rush 2049, and a question about a famous San Francisco bridge to win a copy. Don't forget to check out the How to Win section for all the details on how to enter these cracking contests. This page is a vibrant showcase for the upcoming Nintendo 64 release, Mario Party. We're treated to a fantastic look at the game, promising ultimate party fun, with 70 new minigames and 10 brand new boards. It sounds like the ultimate get-together game, and with characters like Luigi front and center, it's sure to be a hit. Plus, there's a sneak peek at what looks like a dual map mode, which is always a welcome addition to any party game. On the other side, we've got your usual roundup of news for Game Boy Color, including GBA News, The Lion King, Rugrats, and Mr. Driller, all apparently on page 92. And for the N64 crowd, we have GameCube News, Mario Party 3, Metroid, and Power Rangers, with page numbers provided for all your perusing pleasure. It's a packed page really, getting us all excited for what's to come. This page is a fantastic preview of Mario Party 3. Mario's sporting a cowboy hat, looking ready for action. We get to see some of the minigames, including one that looks a bit like Tetris, and another where the gang is being spat out of a giant mouth. There's also a cool clock-themed minigame, and a sneak peek at a game with Bowser. The review calls the game totally addictive, and praises the graphics as the best in the series so far. The We Think section is buzzing about the new minigames and boards, saying party animals should be chuffed. Overall, it's a super exciting look at what's shaping up to be another brilliant Mario Party installment. This page gives us a look at the much-anticipated Spider-Man game for the Nintendo 64. Activision is behind this action-adventure title, and while the release date is still to be confirmed, it's shaping up to be something special. The text describes how Spidey can climb buildings, swing through the air, and generally be a total badass. We also get a glimpse of him facing off against the menacing Venom, which is always a treat. The screenshots show off some slick graphics and gameplay, with Spider-Man demonstrating his lightning-fast reactions and incredible agility, even managing to evade capture and tricky situations. The We Think section is suitably impressed, stating it looks like a top-quality game, true to the Marvel Comics spirit, and they're expecting big things. It's definitely one to keep an eye on. This page is a cracking full-page advert for Nintendo Official Magazine UK, offering a year's subscription for just £25. It promises to solve your Christmas present woes, with a market-leading magazine that covers everything Nintendo. Plus, you could win £5,000. The advert features the iconic Link from The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, a game we're all eager to get our hands on, with a first review on page 6. It really highlights that this is the only Nintendo magazine you'll ever need. This page dives into two fantastic Nintendo 64 titles. First up is Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, an action-adventure game where you'll be stopping toxic waste and saving the world, featuring familiar faces like Diabolico and Magmavore. It boasts multiplayer modes, big weapons and boss battles, all promising a punchy experience. Then we swing over to the utterly charming Tigger's Honey Hunt. This platformer is clearly aimed at the younger audience, with Tigger on a quest for honey, across 9 colorful and cute levels. It even includes minigames for some multiplayer fun, and I must say, the graphics look gorgeous and just brimming with cuteness. It's the perfect game if you're after something sweet and cuddly. This page is a full-page advert for Amazon.co.uk, promoting the latest Nintendo games and hardware, including Pokémon Pinball, Pokémon Trading Card Game, and Pokémon Special Pikachu Edition for Game Boy Color. It's faster than you can recite all 151 Pokémon. This page is all about the upcoming Game Boy Advance, giving us a first look at some of its exciting potential with a trio of demos. We've got Flying Demo, which showcases a World War I biplane with stunning, smoother silk graphics. Then there's the Racing Demo, offering a glimpse of F1 racing with incredible track detail and speed. Finally, the first-person shooter demo promises creeping through corridors with slick movement. Alongside these, we get a peek at some confirmed GBA launch titles, including Powerful Pro Baseball, Silent Hill, and Castlevania. Circle of the Moon, which sounds like a dream for fans of classic action. We also hear about new Game Boy Color titles, like The Lion King, and the Rugrats, plus a look at the addictive Mr. Driller. It's clear the GBA is shaping up to be a real powerhouse. This page is a cracking full-page advert for Match magazine, proclaiming itself the UK's best-selling football publication. It's also shouting about their annual and diary for 2001, available for a mere £5.99 and £7.99 respectively. Get your football fix every Tuesday, or order them by mail. This page is a fantastic look at Sin and Punishment, an arcade shooter that's finally hit our hands in playable form. It's a non-stop hail of rapid-fire action with mutant enemies and a story straight out of a manga, featuring plucky heroines. The screenshots look brilliant, truly a sci-fi flick in the making, and it boasts infinite ammo for non-stop trigger-happy fun. We also get some juicy fast news, with a mysterious mix-core shot appearing, and confirmation that Metroid is indeed coming to GameCube thanks to Retro Studios. On a less cheerful note, Sega isn't making games for Nintendo, which is a bit of a bummer, but there's good news for GameCube as Infogrames is committed to 4 titles for its launch. And finally we get a superb review summary calling Sin and Punishment incredibly playable, insanely fast, and packing a double portion of arcade-style fun, which sounds like a winner to me. This page is a full-page advert for Pokémon Pinball on the Game Boy, featuring Pikachu and a Pokeball. It highlights the game as one of the great Pokémon titles available for Game Boy and Nintendo 64. This page is the cover of the Nintendo official magazine, hyping up next month with the promise of being the biggest and best. It features the iconic Nintendo logo and teases Sin and Punishment, promising outrageous gunfights, unbelievable bosses, and cool characters. Plus, we get a glimpse of what's updated with Paper Mario and Pokémon Stadium 2, and what's reviewed with Power Rangers and Tigger's Hunt. It's all wrapped up with a promise of Game Guide's best cheats, making sure you're never left wanting. This page is a fantastic cover, featuring the one and only Pikachu, announcing, "Hey you Pikachu!" for the N64. It promises amazing gameplay, super cute characters, and fun-packed activities, with a particularly keen eye on ace locations. We're also treated to a peek at a Game Boy Color, boasting it's the finest Game Boy mag, full of reviews, news and tips. And to top it all off, we have some tantalizing previews of Majora's Mask RPG Guide, Part 2 and a WWF No Mercy Ace Brawling Guide. It's a real treat for any Nintendo fan. This page is a brain-tickling quiz spectacular, featuring the Mastermind Challenge with 3 rounds to test your Nintendo knowledge. We've got a general knowledge section with 10 tricky questions, a Name the Game challenge featuring 4 intriguing screenshots, and an Anagram Antics section with 5 jumbled Pokémon names. Plus, there's the big question for a chance to win Mario Tennis. It's a proper test for any seasoned gamer. This page is a full-blown advert for special reserve discount stores, showcasing massive savings on games like Pokémon Snap, Perfect Dark, and WWF No Mercy. Plus, there are freebies like memory cards and controllers for N64 owners. Get your gaming fix for less. This page is a fantastic advert for Gameplay.com, offering a whopping 95% off 64 magazine and a £37.99 price tag on games. They've got WWF SmackDown 2 for £42.99. And for the stealthy gamers, the latest Bomb title, The World Is Not Enough, which boasts 40 weapons, 15 levels and a 4-player mode, all for a cool £37.99. Plus, get a free competition pro pad with your order.